This podcast is powered by As Always Entertainment. If you enjoy this content, consider becoming a patron over on patreon.com/asalways. Other than to support this show for just $1 a month or more, you get access to over 50 exclusive episodes of the Kill Connor Clubhouse podcast that release every week the Kill Connor Club podcast isn't on. You also get a week's early access to the Spoilercast show, The Cinema Room, and plenty of cool perks such as being part of polls for future videos on our channels, as well as other early access material. With that said, please enjoy the podcast.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the Cinema Room podcast, the Spoilercast podcast where we talk movies, TV show seasons and video games and spoil the shit out of them and discuss them. I am one of your hosts, Tyler, joined with my fellow film connoisseur, James. How's it going?
How's it going? Well, I'm good. Sorry, you asked me. Hello, I'm good. How are you, Tyler?
I'm pretty good, mate. I'm pretty
That's good.
good.
That's great.
Thanks for asking before you answered my question. You were so
great.
excited to hear how I was.
I know.
I love it.
I couldn't help it. I'm just so excited to talk about films. That's what it is.
Yeah. It's beautiful. This podcast is brought to you by patreon.com/as always. So thanks to our producers. That's King Richard III, Ikraik, Seth, and Josh Devillier. So on today's episode, we're doing our first ever TV show in the history of the Cinema Room. We've done video games. We've done plenty of movies. And here we are, back on the normal schedule. We're doing Game of Thrones Season 8, the first half of the season. So that's episode 1, 2, and 3. And of course, this will be up a week early on patreon.com/as always. For just $1 a month, you get access a week early to this podcast. So all the episodes that are out right now, we're spoiling if you're listening to on Patreon. But if you're listening on podcast services and YouTube, episode 4 will be out by the time this is out as well. And episode 5 will be like tomorrow. So we will do another spoiler cast when the season ends for the last 3 episodes. But we thought we'll do half the season each, especially because episode 3 was so huge. It was good to do. So yeah, first 3 episodes up until the battle for Winterfell in episode 3. So if you haven't seen any of it, go watch it. Don't listen to this. If you've never seen Game of Thrones before, don't listen to this. Go fucking start watching it, you idiot fuck. But here we are. Yeah. So that's what we're doing today. But of course, before we get into it, we've got to thank our beautiful sweet vintage lads over at patreon.com/as always. So again, if you like what you're listening to here and you want to hear it a week early, head over to patreon.com/as always. Plus, the Kill Connor Clubhouse podcast is over there, our favorite podcast we do as always. And that's exclusive to Patreon. So go check that out. It's fucking tremendous. It's hilarious. It's a brilliant time. Every podcast keeps getting better and better and better. If I do say so myself, James. I don't know about you.
I say James, yeah as well. So
yeah,
it's true. It's got to be.
Exactly. So to thank a few of the sweet vintage lads, we have King Richard III, Ikraik, Seth, Bullsack47, Josh Devillier, Damian, Billy the Team Tynamite, Captain Robertson, Tman Travis, KEMOSABE Gamer, Casey Wood, Adam Sundling, Alfie Rowsell, Jamie the Gamer, Smexy Dork, Lumistrad, Mario5380, Flossing Thanos, Viridian, Pink Flame 313, ArunWyn, OllieTheDane, Fuck Cuck, Nib, Brendon Overlord, Ravjai, Julie, Prudhvi Muvva, Oscar, Benedict Parker Returns, James and Lad, Connor Durose Bully in the Alley, Zahir, Jean, Zeek Collins, Son of a Bitch, Ogeaidogo, Lauren, Dammit Glenn, Furious Coco, the ACMJS, Delta R. Rodriguez, Kassassin, Kyle, Sandor the Pussy Slayer, S. Jaws, Kyle Marvel, Marcus Blackburn, Emil Katborg, Joshua Mora, Ginko Swag, Andrew Katona, Mass the Bass, Yazen, Joe the Sexy Boi Smith, Elstico91, Joe A.K.A FoundedScarab, H+12 I Got Lumbago, Iron Man's for the Dads, Omar Karasagi, Alfie Rodbert, Brian Ford, Casper, Milk Boy, Shields, Fishy or Ethan Woodgates, and Andrew Martinez. Thanks, Sweet Vintage Lads, for helping me out this podcast. Damn, I'm good at reading that fucking list.
Brilliant. Amazing.
And also, that was the last month's list that we read, because at the time we're recording this, the next month hasn't processed, so apologies. We will have, hopefully for Kill Connor Club, the list should all be processed. We'll be reading the current list correctly, but it is what it is right now, so there you go.
So good. It's great. Oh, brilliant.
Let's get into it. James.
Yes.
We're both big fans of Game of Thrones.
We are.
We're at different stages of a fandom, I think. We've had a few discussions recently about it, especially before the season started, and we've just seen the culmination of one of the major storylines of the show wrap up, which is the White Walkers, the Night King, the Long Night, the Great War that storyline that was the first scene in the first episode where you see some whites chasing down some rangers of the Night's Watch, that's led to the battle for Winterfell. And, in the end, the Night King defeated. That storyline's over. Do you feel satisfied? How do you feel with the first 3 episodes of the season, which has really revolved around that? There's been bits of Cersei teasing for like what's going to happen in the second half, but it's mostly been around the first 3 episodes, setting up the characters where they're at, setting up the battle, and then of course the battle itself in episode 3. Yeah, how you feeling?
It's a bit tough. I think it'll be easier to get into once we start breaking things down. But I think overall, I enjoyed everything. So episode 1 and 2, I think were great episodes. I really loved those. And episode 3, I really enjoyed as I was watching it. But I think after, I'm just sort of left a little bit confused, a little bit, maybe a little bit underwhelmed, just based on the amount of build-up they did to where this has gone. It just feels weird to me, especially after watching something like Endgame, that obviously I'm not going to spoil, but after watching something like Endgame, did certain things. After watching this, it almost feels like, I guess my expectations were wrong. Like, I guess I went into this like I didn't know. Like, I don't know. I just think I did not expect at all this is how this episode was gonna go, and it almost feels like it's not very satisfying. I feel a little bit disappointed in a way, to be honest, after watching episode 3. Not to say I didn't enjoy the first 3 episodes. I think they were well-made episodes, and I enjoyed watching them. They don't suffer from some of the issues that maybe, some of the stuff in Season 7 did that I dislike. But I just feel... I think I was enjoying all of it, first 3 episodes, up until probably the last 5 minutes of episode 3, where, I'm just left a bit disappointed, to be honest. I don't know.
Yeah, look, I'm going to break it down this way, James. I've been thinking about this a lot. I have been a defender of this show constantly. I think this is the greatest show ever made. I still probably believe that overall, when you look at it as a whole and what it's done, what it's achieved. And in this episode, especially specifically episode 3, what they achieved cinematically for a television screen is astronomical. It's astounding. It's incredible.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
The technological achievement. It's movies can't achieve what they achieved, and this is a TV show. It's unreal. It's just incredible, and hats off to them for pulling off a monumental task for this episode. But the whole show has been that way. But I've been a defender of the last few seasons because, of course, early on, this show set it up and was built around anyone can die at any time. No one is safe. This is like what it would be like if it was real. It builds this tension based around that in the first 4 seasons, maybe including season 5. Now we get to season 6, 7. You can include 5, though Jon Snow dies, but he comes back to life, so it's kind of like, the shock factor of someone dying was there in season 5 because, you don't know for sure. But of course, Jon Snow comes back in season 6, and then we're like, okay, well, everyone's kind of... You kind of know when Jon Snow comes back, you're like, well, he's safe for the rest of the show. Who else is going to die? But we haven't really lost any major characters since season 4. We just haven't. And I've been a defender of that, saying, no, guys, I get what you're saying, but they've done so much killing now. These are the characters the show's about now that are still alive, and they need to be there at the end. James, we're at the end, and they still didn't die. No one died. Yeah, man, no one died. That's an issue for me.
That's an issue for me. That's a big issue.
And it's not just that no one died. It's that you put these characters in the most unlivable situation I've ever seen on a television screen, ever, where they have no business being alive. And they survived. We've seen some of the biggest characters of the show die in the most easy, like, oh, fuck's sake way, or just in a way that's like, they make one wrong move in speaking and they're fucking executed, or they get tricked and they're dead. Here, you've got an army of 100,000 undead fighting against a dude with one hand, and he doesn't die. Fuck! Hey, fuck you. Hey, Game of Thrones writers, fuck you. And it would be fine if he lived, if, he hid, he was dragged away, he hung out in the crypt. but not when he's standing on the wall fighting 100,000 of them coming at him, and he's like,
that's mental.
Cool story, bro.
And like we haven't really seen Jamie's sword play like develop. Like he was training with Bronn and everything, and he was trying to get better. Like he's doing
he's
fine,
better.
But like, there's no way he should have survived that. That was ridiculous.
For sure.
Same for a lot of the characters as well. I think one of my major issues of this, and has been in Game of Thrones for a while, is they're not killing characters. But it's not just that they're not killing characters, it's that they're putting them in ridiculous situations and then still having them live afterwards. It's like, fine, if Jon Snow or, Jaime Lannister or whoever need to be alive, stop making them risk their life all the time in these near-death situations. I think it just takes me out of it, especially given that Game of Thrones, the way we've seen people die, like you said, in earlier seasons is like, in the dumbest ways. Like, people would just, like, major characters would just die, and it made the world feel so real and alive. But, like, it's getting to this point where it's getting very Hollywood, where, these guys are the main characters, and so they swoop in last minute, and, they're fine, and all of these things. But there's so many other things as well that I wasn't happy with in episode 3, and as well, there's a bunch of other things that I did like in episode 3 as well. But yeah, it's what I think one of the major things is the characters all surviving, which begs the question: why did they do that? Is it because they're really relevant to the final arc of the show, or what are they doing?
But they're not though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they'll have an arc for them. Like Jaime and Brienne, they'll have like stuff for them right at the end, especially including Cersei. But they didn't need to. You know what I mean? Like, they've full circled Jaime's character with, his redemption and becoming a good man and leaving Cersei behind. His story is done. You can kill him. Brienne, become a knight, the most noble character of the whole show. Finally, she gets what he deserves.
I was so sure she was going to die.
She can die. Don't need her. Grey Worm, he can die. Don't need him. Tormund literally has no arc. Yeah. He's just a fun character, which I love him, but there's 3 episodes left. Don't need him. Kill him too. Kill them all. Why are they all there? I don't understand. Jon and Daenerys, I get why they're alive. It totally makes sense. I have no problem with them living. But the fact that they had Daenerys... Jon being in ridiculous situations, I can kind of believe him. Like, Jon's the greatest swordsman I've ever seen. I guess so. And he's also been in every near-death situation, so I was like, whatever, that's what Jon does. You kind of roll your eyes at this point.
I don't hate that.
But so Daenerys falling off the dragon, and then Jorah just somehow ran like a mile out of the gate to save it. I'm like, I guess so, though. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't happen. There's so many moments in the 3rd episode that, like, the spectacle of it was amazing. Like, the first half of the episode is just incredible. And then the second half, when everyone they're losing so horribly, then you go to the crypt and they're getting mauled, but yet, like, Tyrion and Sansa just hide behind a grave, and they're fine. Varys is just hiding, they're fine. So all the main characters are fine because they're just hiding, apparently, in plain sight. And then you've got all the other everyone else in the army is dead. Literally everyone else, tens of thousands, dead. But Jaime, Brienne, they're alive, they're fine. Yeah. Sam, that fat fuck, is alive.
Yeah,
he's alive. And I'm just like, how am I supposed to believe? Like, it just took me out of the show. I'm like, I'm no longer watching this real world play out of fantasy. I'm just watching a fucking TV show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they've ruined the aura of the show that they built. I don't have a problem with the story elements of the show, right? I would have liked to have seen more development of the Night King, sure. But at the end of the day, I don't care that he died. I don't care that they won. I expected them to win. But don't create an aura for 9 years and then kind of ruin the aura of it at the end. Like, what if... Like, it's a totally different aura and vibe to the show now. And how am I supposed to believe... I don't think anyone should die now. Like, if they don't die in the Long Night battle, this battle... I think it would be stupid that a battle against Cersei, they die, or there's some Red Wedding 2.0 moment to kind of end the show in a spectacular way. That would be annoying too. That'd be a comment I'm like, oh, cool. Of course they died, like, sitting at a table being backstabbed and not in a battle where they all should have died. Of course that's how they died, because they want the shock factor, not the predictable in battle but actually would happen, be believable moment. It has to be the shock factor.
It's weird as well, because you could have had like one of those shock moments if they hadn't done this weird Hollywood style Like, you know, all the main characters are still alive for like 2 seasons. Season 7 did it as well, and season 8 is now doing it. So I agree. You can't really have them die in like a classic Game of Thrones way, where there's some, you know, political scheming, or they're being tricked, or someone's poisoned. Like, it's just going to be so underwhelming and stupid. It's like, wow, this person that didn't die in this great battle where they definitely should have died, dies in a really dumb, stupid way. It doesn't really work anymore. It's like, but in the earlier seasons, everything was just so convincing and so real, and the world felt real, and it was so immersive to watch. It was great. But it's just gone so in such a different direction now that it's just so, I don't know, it just really takes you out of it sometimes.
Yeah, I've been defending it, but I'm on your team now, bro. I'm like, yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
Oh, thank God.
I try, because I thought, I'm like, but this will be when they do, because they needed them for this. They needed them for this. And don't get me wrong, people died, but like, Jorah, doesn't matter. Theon, doesn't matter. Beric Dondarrion, doesn't matter. Lyanna Mormont, doesn't matter. Melisandre, doesn't matter.
They were all
you
great
know what I mean?
moments, though. Like, I like the
great
moments,
moments,
but also...
great character. Ed dying, great moment.
Yeah.
You know, like, there were 6 side characters, major side characters that died, for sure. I get it. 6 is a lot, but no main characters, no mainline perspective characters died. Theon, I'm pretty sure, I'd count Theon. Theon's probably the biggest death.
Yeah.
But even still, like, he's been dead for seasons, you know what I mean? Ever since he became Rick, he's kind of dead. Yeah. And his redemption was great, and I loved it, but, like, him dying wasn't enough. You needed more than Theon and Jorah.
I wasn't super sad about it. I was like, oh, that was good. Like, it was a good moment. It completed his arc sort of thing, like, defending Bran.
People told me they cried at this episode, and I'm like, fuck you. One of my favorite, I was listening to a whole bunch of Game of Thrones podcasts and, like, reaction videos, and there were some great reaction videos, like the Burlington Bar one to Arya killing the Night King's fucking amazing. Like, the crowd in that bar goes psycho. I love watching reactions to people watching Game of Thrones. It's great. But I was listening to the Westerbros podcast with Andrew Schultz, the comedian, and he's like, that was the worst episode of Game of Thrones ever. Like, he hated it. Yeah. He was just going so hard in the paint on it, man. It was hilarious. And he just goes, I watched fucking Endgame last week. That's how you fucking wrap up that's how you wrap shit up.
Yeah, I agree.
That's how you fucking pay off shit. He's like, did DC make this episode of Game of Thrones? Did DC make this episode of Game of Thrones? He was losing his shit. I was like, that's fucking hilarious. I was like, I'm like, look, I liked the episode. I liked it. But I could easily sit here and rant about it for an hour, man. I could easily sit here and rant about it for an hour because it wasn't good enough. It was good. Like, if Game of Thrones... If that was the last episode ever, you know what I mean? Like, if Game of Thrones ends and it's kind of like everyone lives, it's all happy ending, I wouldn't, like, hate the show and be like, Game of Thrones is the worst show ever, it sucks. I'd be like, okay. Yeah. Great journey. It was an okay destination. Great journey. Best show ever. Would happily rewatch it from start to finish, but the ending was okay. It was fine. Whatever. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Didn't hate it. It's just whatever. It's a nothing, whatever, throwaway, bitch ending, pussy rider ending. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. Look, I
there's
think
nothing brave about that ending. There's nothing brave about what they're doing at the moment.
I probably dislike this episode more than you. I think. A bit, because I mean there's a lot of things I dislike about it, like it's weird because a lot of people have been saying like the Night King wasn't a really good villain, like, you know, I'm glad that he's dead because now we can get back to the good stuff, and I don't disagree that the best part of Game of Thrones was never the White Walker storyline. It was always politics, it was always, you know, all the scheming, like, I agree, I love that, but also that doesn't suddenly mean that what they did was good. Like, they've set up this storyline and then they've just ended it and, like, they've won and now it's over and it's done. It's like, oh, okay. So that was just... So it's done. Now we move on and it's over. Like, that's weird to me. So weird.
Do you know how you make the ending impactful with, like, Arya killing the Night King? Like, it was impactful in the sense of it was like, oh, shit! But then again, to be fair, I 100% knew it was going to be Arya that kills him. Halfway through the episode... Some people were like, oh, I kind of forgot about it. I was like, no. I remember thinking to myself, Arya's going to be the one to come out. Because I was thinking to myself, where the fuck did Arya go? Because she was going to do something. I'm like, it'll be her. It'll be her. Yeah. So I kind of wasn't shocked at all by that. Great. I love that she got it. I think it was the right call of anyone.
Do you think so?
Yeah, 100%. I think it was the right call. Why? If you had to have someone kill the Night King, Arya was 100% the right person to do it. for sure you should have had Jon at least fight him first. And have, like, the Night King's, like, about to kill Jon because no one cares if... I didn't sit there going, oh, no, don't kill Bran. I don't give a fuck about Bran. Like, you know what I mean?
Kind of kill Bran, actually.
Fucking,
kill
you know
first,
what? He's been my least favourite character of the whole show. I didn't care. Whereas, like, if Jon came in to save Bran and then they had, like, a Night King-Jon duel and then the Night King stabs Jon, you think Jon's about to die and then Arya kills him? Big.
That would have been better.
Way more exciting. You know what I mean? There needs to be stakes.
Way better.
Also, Night King kills... one of, like, either... You can't kill the Hound, you need Clegane Bowl. Mm-hmm. I didn't want the Hound to die because that was... I'm like, you can't kill the Hound because you need Clegane Bowl. Kill fucking Gendry. Have the Night King kill Gendry, and then have him almost about to kill Jon, Arya's two favourite people on Earth. Then it's... You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it's a bit... Then it's an, oh shit, Arya, fuck yeah, Arya, you're the fucking champ.
Then there's a
moment.
reason. Like, there's personal weight to it. Like, but it was so weird because she's never
I get that it's her brother. I get that
them
it's
or
her
fought
brother.
them, like...
Yeah. I get that it's her
also
brother and
not,
everything.
is it? Like...
Yeah, exactly.
What
But that's
is
my point.
Bran?
It's also not... Yeah. Nothing. He's nothing.
So
Literally
weird.
Nothing.
So weird. They
He's
haven't
just-
even spoke to each other for, like, years and years and years. Like, it's not... And then he's not even the same guy, and, like... There was no emotion there to me. It wasn't like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Like, honestly, it was just confusion. I was like, why? Like, what? I was like, where's my battle between Jon and the Night King? Like, that's Jon's storyline for the whole thing, was like uniting everyone to take down the White Walkers, and like that was his storyline. But he didn't even get his moment. So like, what? Yeah. So why did the Lord of Light keep Jon alive then? If that wasn't the reason, if it was for something else?
Well, because I think it's... Well, I mean, Jon's gonna be king. That's what I think. But he also was the one that united them all together, to be fair. Like, he took back Winterfell. He literally took back... To be fair, he literally took back Winterfell, which they needed to have the battle. He also united everybody.
Maybe that was all it was,
Daenerys
then.
and everyone. But maybe that's all it was. You know what I mean?
But then he should have died. Then
like Beric
died.
Like Beric died, Darren
exactly.
died. Yeah, correct. For sure.
So his purpose can't be fulfilled.
But the reasons... But I don't necessarily think... The Lord of Light only needed him for that. But the reason, story-wise, as a show, you can't kill him is because then you can't... He should have just been Jon Snow. He's Aegon Targaryen, sixth of his name. And if he wasn't Aegon Targaryen, sixth of his name, he should have died as Jon Snow, because Jon Snow's storyline was just the Night King. But the thing is, Jon Snow's two people. He's Jon Snow, the one whose storyline is the Night King, but he's also got the second storyline. So as a show, yes, you've wrapped up one half of Jon's story, but he also has the whole Targaryen shit to deal with. You can't just kill him now, because then what was the point of him being a Targaryen? Because he never even... There was never even a conversation about, will Jon be king? Will it... You know what I mean? Like, we haven't had that.
Yeah, you can't throw that away. Yeah, no, I agree with that. That makes sense.
Like, it would literally throw that whole up. So it doesn't matter. Well, who cares that he's regulars? It doesn't matter. But that needs to matter with, like, what will happen when Daenerys gets the throne if they win? Like, will they get married? Will there be a battle between Jon and... Or will Daenerys turn on Jon because she's worried that she'll lose the throne? Because all that really matters to her is the throne. Or will there be... For me... One or two things now at this point. I'm either on Team Cersei and Cersei fuck them all up. That won't happen for sure. What I think I wouldn't be surprised if they do a red wedding ending. And here's what I mean. Okay. I've been hearing rumors about a red wedding ending. I might be totally off on this.
Okay.
Now, I haven't heard any rumors of anything to do. This is just me guessing what I think is going to happen, right? There is two characters that there's tension between. There's two characters I can see, and one of them I can see flipping. The Cersei dies, Euron dies, Daenerys takes the throne. Jon marries Daenerys. They're king and queen. Arya marries Gendry, and they take the land that the Baratheons hold. What's the main city that the Baratheons hold?
I don't know. Where are the Baratheons? I don't remember.
I don't remember either. Then you send Jaime, who's alive, whoever he's married to. Let's say he marries Brienne. They'll do some really gay shit here. This is annoying, what I'm about to say, but it'll kind of come together. Okay. Because it'll be this happy ending that everyone's like, you'll throw up at, and then it'll come good.
Okay. Jaime
gets Castle Rock. Then you have, like, you know what I mean? You have all these united kingdoms again, right? Like, everyone fought the same side. Sansa's the north. Tyrion, Sansa, right? Tyrion, Sansa. And then you've got Iron Islands are all good because Theon's sister, whatever the fuck her name is, Yara, she's got that shit sorted. Dawn, I have no fucking idea what they're doing.
Dawn was like never in the picture. They tried to introduce it and then they were like, nah.
They suck so bad they just killed him off.
Nah, let's not do that. Apparently that's really good in the books, but they just, for some reason, they introduced it really late in the show and like, weird,
It did suck.
Fuck Dawn.
It meant nothing.
Dawn's fine. Dawn's fine.
Now, here's what happens. I don't know who's winning, because it won't be Jon and Daenerys, there'll be King Queen for a while. There'll be a time jump, and the kind of ending will be like, maybe there won't be a time jump. I don't know. I don't know where or when it'll happen, but it'll be set up so like everyone's kind of together, coupled up, united, all the kingdoms united, Baratheons and Starks are married like that first episode introduced. You've got Jaime and Castle, he's got Castle Rock, the Lannisters will live on, but in a good way. The Targaryens are on the throne. Now here's where we get twisted, right? There's tension between Sansa and Daenerys, right? Tyrion's close to flipping. I can see Tyrion flipping to Sansa, right? Easily. He's in love with Sansa, has always been. Since they got married, he kind of slowly fell in love with her, and he stopped. He does after he got married, like he stopped whoring around. Like he just never does it. That part of his character went away after he got married. Like he never slept with anyone else.
Yeah, true. I mean, that could be attributed to bad writing, but maybe there's a point.
No,
Maybe
I always thought it was because, well, two things. I thought one, he doesn't want to have a whore after his whole father situation. What happened with his girl and father? Yeah. I think that ruined whores for him with Shay. Plus Sansa. So I think those two elements kind of make sense that he's not into that life anymore. He doesn't do that anymore.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Still drinks, but other than that. So he flipped. He's on Sansa's team. Now here's the thing. Sansa and Jon, brother and sister, but they're not. When Sansa realizes, well, he's actually Targaryen, he's going by Aegon Targaryen, he's not my brother. Mm-hmm. Who is the most Cersei character that's not Cersei, James?
I don't know. I'm sure you're going to tell me.
Sansa. The one that learned from Cersei. She is literally Cersei. She's literally Cersei. She's smart. She's smart like Cersei. She's smarter than everyone. She's the smartest person on that show right now. I'm all team Sansa right now. She's by far the smartest person on that show. Smarter than fucking Tyrion. All he does is fuck up these days.
Yeah, what is that with
You know
Tyrion?
what I mean? Like, she's a smart fucking character. She learned from Littlefinger. She learned from Cersei. Like, that whole crypt scene where she goes down in the crypt just reminded me straight up. I'm like, oh... And everyone's worried. They're looking at Sansa and everyone's really scared. Like, oh shit, Sansa's here. Does that mean it's gone bad? And Sansa just kept the strong, straight face like she saw Cersei do in the Battle of the Blackwater.
Yeah.
Remember? She sat in the room and she watched Cersei.
I thought that as well. Yeah.
Yeah. She watched Cersei. She's learned from Cersei. She's learned from Littlefinger. She's the smartest fucking character in that show. She turns Tyrion. She makes Tyrion's in love with her. We kind of think for a minute that Sansa actually loves Tyrion, but really she's just using Tyrion. Red weddings, Daenerys and Jon.
Ooh.
Sansa red weddings the Targaryen. She's like, fuck that. The North, and she doesn't want the Iron Throne. She's just like, I'm the Queen of the North. The North remembers. We'll never bow to another ruler. We said that. I promise you that. Go fuck yourself.
I wouldn't be mad at that.
And it reminds you, and it's funny. The funny big twist of it is Sansa and Tyrion would be the ones who do it, and Sansa and Tyrion are the ones that got accused of Joffrey's wedding murder, and they never did it. And it would be funny that it all ended with them actually being the couple that do it. But to Jon and Daenerys, and like, there's a big thing. Yeah.
Tell you what,
but no one would ever know it's. No one would ever know it's them, right? Like no one would ever know. Maybe Arya would, and then it might end with like Arya killing Sansa or something. I don't know.
That might be a bit too far. That'd be weird.
Yeah, it might be a bit too far. I'm just saying it's possible.
Yeah,
because I feel like Arya's too smart, but maybe she's got Baratheon babies by that point. She doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, true. Who's gonna take the throne then? Do you think if that would have happened after?
I don't think it matters after that. I don't know. I don't think it matters.
We just won't find out.
I just think the throne gets destroyed.
Who destroys
it'll be a different, like it'll become different kingdoms. It won't be the United Seven Kingdoms or you know what I mean. It won't be the Seven Kingdoms.
What happens to Daenerys' dragons?
They die and they're not going to live through the last episode.
You think they'll just die before?
Yeah, I think they'll both die. Yeah.
Like Cersei will kill them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That fucking ballista thing's in the fucking intro of the show this season. You know, it's pretty important.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So she's still got that. Still knocking about.
Yeah. And it's probably made upgrades to it.
Yeah.
Made upgrades to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a totally left field if they wanted to make a big twist, but they won't because they're pussies, and they'll have everyone live, everyone get married, everyone have babies, and it'll be happily ever after. Just HBO pussies. Yeah, I do think so.
Surely not. Surely they know what this this whole franchise and this whole series is built upon.
That's what I thought, James, until I saw episode 3 of season 8.
True. It seems like they've forgotten what they're doing, which is a shame.
Well, George R. R. Martin's not involved in the writing of the show anymore.
I thought he was involved with bits and pieces to wrap up major storylines. No. Oh.
He said their ending will be very, very close to his ending.
Mm-hmm.
So the ending will be the same, or pretty much the same.
Okay.
But the way they get there is kind of whatever.
Well, as long as the ending is the same, or at least close to the same, I at least trust that will be satisfying. Because
true.
George R. R. Martin doesn't fuck up.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what's gonna happen, man. What do you think's gonna happen? How do you think it's gonna end?
Damn, I don't know. See, I've had different theories. Like we talked about it before on Kill Connor Club before season 8 came out. And I had very different ideas to probably what I do now after watching, episode 1, 2, and 3. Because I really don't know. I really don't know. The only thing I can really predict is I feel that Jon being a Targaryen, and that I feel like that's got to come into play in terms of like him
Jon will be king.
His relationship with Daenerys has to be fucked in some way.
What do you think of that relationship? Like in this first 3 episodes, what do you think? And what do you think happens to it? So like they're obviously they're in love. Like they're in love. She took her whole army because she's in love with Jon, and she said like she hasn't been in love with someone since Khal Drogo. Like all the people she's been with in between that hasn't mattered, but she's in love with Jon. And we know he's in love with her. He bent the knee, and Sansa has that great moment. She's like, "Did you bend the knee because you wanted to protect the North, or did you bend the knee because you loved her?" And I'm like, oh shit, that's truth speaking. That's smart Sansa speaking right there. That's the fucking real queen right there. And then you have that build up, but then you have that scene at the end of episode 2 where Daenerys finds out that Jon's actually Targaryen and more of a claim to the throne. She goes, that means you would have a claim. And you can see in that moment like she falls out of love with Jon, I thought. Like you see in that moment.
Yeah, she looks very concerned.
Yeah, but then not enough so like in the battle, she risked her life multiple times to save Jon. So like she's not in love with him, but at the same time she also isn't. I don't know.
It seems like she cares a bit more about the throne than anything. Because I mean that was her first thought as soon as Jon said it. And I don't think Jon was necessarily thinking, "Oh, I can take the throne." But Daenerys' immediate thought was, "Oh shit, you have a claim to the throne. That's like a threat to me." Which I mean, that's been a whole arc has been to reclaim the Iron Throne. So I mean, it depends which way they go with it. Either they can complete Daenerys' arc and be like, "Oh yeah, she takes the Iron Throne," which I don't think they'll do because it's Game of Thrones and you can't really have Daenerys complete her whole arc of taking back the Iron Throne and being queen. And so you've got to have that conflict. I think that's why they introduced the conflict and why there clearly is a bit of tension there between Jon and Daenerys, because they've now introduced that Daenerys knows that Jon is Targaryen and that he has a claim to the Iron Throne. And so that conflict has to come into play.
What do you think of the setup line? This is what I see the setup line as for the season. Because they're pretty, and it's kind of a disappointing part for it, but they pretty much like set it up so obviously a lot of ways, a lot of storylines these days. And the big one being Sam and the way he talks to Jon. Like, because the way he talks about Jon and he tells Jon, you're the true heir. It's not that you're actually true there. How cool is that? Now you know who your mum and dad are, and you can find yourself a bit more, and you can, let everyone know, and that's just who you are. I know you don't want the throne, but, there you go. It was, you're the type of, you should be king, because you're the right leader, you're the type of person, you gave up the throne in the North to save your people. Daenerys wouldn't. She cares more about the throne than her people. Like, that's what's been set up right now. It's that Daenerys cares way more about the throne than anyone else or anything else. Jon cares more about his people and the ones he loves than power, the throne, birthright, anything. It doesn't matter to Jon. That's where the tension will come clear. It's like, I don't think Jon will want to be king. I think Jon may see that he has to be king. Because, I don't want to be king, but I'm the right king.
Yeah.
The way that Sam says, like, well, you should be. well, you should be,
Yeah.
and that she shouldn't be.
Yeah, and that's the thing. They're setting up little bits of conflict here and there between, people. Like, I mean, Sansa's always distrusted Daenerys, so there's that. You also have the moment in the crypt with Sansa and Tyrion where they're talking about Daenerys, and then Missandei's like, "Oh, without the Dragon Queen, you would all be dead." And there's sort of a little bit of tension there, a little bit of conflict. So I mean, I think that's got to come into play. I mean, Cersei is obviously a major factor and a major villain that they're both obviously going to be fighting against, but I feel that there's got to be something. There's got to be some conflict between Jon and Daenerys. Otherwise, why set any of that up if it just doesn't matter? They've got to do something with it. How that plays in, I don't know. Like, there's only 3 episodes left. That's not a lot of time.
Yeah. And I think the main Cersei battle will be episode 5. Because it looks like this next episode they're getting straight into it. They're like, lick the wounds, set up, we're heading to King's Landing at the end. And then episode 5 will be the main battle. Episode 6, I don't know what the last episode will be.
Oh, God, it doesn't feel like there's enough time. It really doesn't feel like there's enough time.
Yeah, it'll be a big rush. It's going to be a rush, for sure.
It's
but there's not enough characters to keep it going for a long period of time, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of time, it seems, passes because you jump a lot. Everyone's together now, so it's. I get that it's a lot harder because, like, screen time wise, I'm like, well, they're all together, so we kind of just have to keep moving. They can't stop and start. I think have to just keep going. It's
I think a major problem was, right, like, season 5 and season 6 for the most part were pretty fucking slow, and not a lot happened. And it's like everything that should have happened and been spread across like season 5, 6, 7, and 8 have been condensed into season 7 and 8. You could have spread a lot of this over 4 seasons and had it build up a lot better.
I thought season 5 and 6 were similar pace to season 4 and 3. Like, especially season 6, like, I mean, season 6 was really revolving around the, Jon becoming who he was, and, the Battle of the Bastards. Like, season 6 was fucking awesome. Like, I think season 6 is... I thought season 6 was my favourite.
I think
season 6 is my favourite season.
It had some of the best moments. It's got things like Battle of the Bastards and things like that.
The last 2, episode 9 and 10 of season 6 are the 2 best episodes of the show.
Yeah, sure.
The Battle of the Bastards is episode 9, but also Battle of the Bastards shits all over this great war battle.
Yeah, I agree.
You also only follow Jon, you know what I mean? Like, you have one focus in the battle, whereas, like, in this, there's too many characters in this fucking battle you jump between. There's too much going on in this battle.
Yeah.
It's fucking so confusing. And you can't also, $30 million an episode? Get a light bulb, huh? You know what I mean? We wait how many years for Dragon Battle? We have the 3 dragons battling. Can't see it, though. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Can't see it, though. In a storm in the dark. Can't see it, though.
Yeah, I don't understand exactly. I mean, I think they were... I feel like it was on purpose, maybe? Like,
I had no idea what... On purpose, because, like, well, our characters can't see. Get that they can't see.
Trying to be,
but
like,
the audience should be able to see. The audience should be able to see.
There's a middle ground they could have found there. Like, bro, it could have been a bit better. Like, it almost felt just sort of blurry, to be honest. It wasn't even that it was just dark. It was blurry and there was snow everywhere, and it was like my TV couldn't fucking keep up with the shit that was going on. It was so dark that it was like, I don't know what's going on. Here's a black screen. I think that's what they're showing. Like, it was a mess.
They hyped this episode so much with, it's the biggest battle in TV movie history, bigger than Helm's Deep. They kept saying bigger than Helm's Deep. Helm's Deep, Helm's Deep, Helm's Deep. Like, you know what? Helm's Deep happened at night. It was raining. Guess what? Could see it.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair though, Helm's Deep was very bright, like for a nighttime scene.
Also better.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but also
better.
With Game of Thrones, though, you've got to have that realistic vibe to it. I think that I think it was too messy. I agree that it was too messy. I get what they were going for. I just don't think they achieved it properly. I think they could have done this better. There needed to be less snow, maybe. Or maybe have the snow, but just have everything visible. Like, I don't understand how you managed to get to a point where it's just a blurry mess. Like, You can make things look dark without that, surely. I just don't... Yeah, I don't know really what happened there.
You can also portray that it's dark for them. It doesn't have to be exactly the same for us.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think it was bad for the whole thing. I think it was there were points, especially the dragon stuff. That was where it was the worst, I think.
Yeah, that's for sure where it was worse. Also, where it shouldn't have been. Also,
Yeah.
where why didn't they just fight above the clouds a little bit?
Yeah, like we saw above the clouds and it all looked fine. They could have fought above there. That would have been great. Because
At
then
least
you
for a
could have
little
still... Yeah, and then you could have still illustrated that Daenerys and Jon can't see where they're going as well. Because then it's like, oh, look, they can't see what's going on. But also, they can go above the clouds and they can fight up there, and we could have seen it well, and that would have been nice. But yeah, there was a lot of messy moments, I think, during the battle.
Yeah. I had a point here. Yeah, like, I don't know, dude. Like, I just felt like I look back and there's just better, simpler... Like, they did too much. Battle Bastards was a massive battle, but it was a lot simpler the way they wrote it. It was one character they followed and a couple of, like, meetups with other people and jumps between cutaways, but it was mostly focused on Jon. They could have picked two characters here to focus on. You know what I mean? Like, they didn't have to pick, and then those two characters kind of run into everybody. At least when the battle gets started, like, is really into it. I get that at the start we're seeing the Dothraki and the front lines and stuff. First of all, Winterfell's so racist. They just let those Mexicans go and die, and then they let the black guys out the front. They just were like, oh, we don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And when the retreat happened, all the white people retreated. Black guys like, no, you can stay there. And even Grey Worm's like, I have that white guy mentality now. Fucking
yeah, that was weird. That was so weird. He just sacrificed all of them. Like, I kind of get it, but also, he did sacrifice all of them. That was.
He couldn't get 10 of them. You know what I mean? Like, he had like 15 lines there. Couldn't get 10 of those lines back.
Apparently not. But Grey Worm survived though. He survived, so it's okay.
Because he was necessary to survive. Really needed him to survive.
Yeah, he's such an integral character. He'll sit on the Iron Throne, I think.
Him and Miss Sunday will get Dawn because they'll get mad and have Dawn. You know, they'll get Dawn just because they're black.
They're brown.
And they talk about beaches. They're brown and they get beaches.
Yeah, they can go down there. That's fine.
Yeah, they're talking about beaches. You won't go back to where you wanted to go, but you'll have Dawn. You guys have Dawn. You have no leadership qualifications in terms of running a kingdom, but there you go. There's Dawn for you. Who gets Highgarden? Who would get Highgarden?
What characters are fucking left, man? I don't know.
Tormund, because that'd be hilarious.
Tormund, yeah, that's perfect.
Tormund that's fucking hilarious.
That's good. That's good.
And he can just grow flowers and shit.
Yeah, who gets the veil?
I think Robertson.
Is he still alive?
I guess so.
He hasn't shown up in ages. What the fuck? Yeah, he's still alive, isn't he?
Yeah, I guess he's still alive. So Robin has the veil.
What the fuck happened? Like, Peter Baelish died, and then Robin is just, like, sitting in the veil, like, yeah, I'm fine.
But also, old mate Sansa's knight guy that's, like, always, you know, hangs out at the veil, like the main knight.
Yeah.
He's still there. He's still around. He was in that episode for some reason.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, he's still hanging around. He wasn't down to the crypt defending them with a sword. He just kind of was...
Where was he? Yeah. Maybe it's... Also, is Ghost dead?
No, he was in episode 4 preview.
What? How did he survive?
Hey, how did Jorah survive? Jorah just comes back, like, with a cut.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Ghost survived? Why was he even running with them? I don't understand. What did they think he could do? He doesn't have, like... He's not got any dragon glass. Like, what?
Ghost costs a lot CGI-wise. So they're just like, let's just have him there, so he's there, and just get rid of him right at the start.
Oh, he should have been in the crypt. Yeah. Why wasn't Ghost in the crypt? Could have been protecting people. Like, is he though? He doesn't have dragon glass teeth or anything.
No, he can fuck him up. He's fucked up some whites before. He'll be right.
That was so dumb. Why the fuck was he there? That makes no sense. He was just running alongside the fucking army.
You're asking too many questions. Stop that. Stop that whole question asking. Stop that whole logic thing.
That's funny. Why did they do that? Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. This has been the weirdest fucking cinema room. There's has been no logic to this. We just got jumping all over the place. This
is just a Game of Thrones podcast. Like, yeah,
just
I mean,
chatting
it's a TV
absolute
show.
Shit about all of it. We're jumping about all over the place.
Yeah, but that's fine. Like, this is different because it's not a movie where we're just breaking down the movie. It's not a video game we're going to start to finish. This is like an 8-season TV show. We're breaking down the first half. We're spoiling the first half of this season, but also... with a TV show, you got to include all the previous seasons, so it's not as easy to structure. I don't think.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true.
Especially when it's not like, oh, this is tremendous. Let's go through it. It was like, fucking, this is what they're doing wrong.
I'm mad about this. For fuck's sake, I don't care about the good things.
I thought to myself, what a week. Endgame, could not have been better. They somehow took the MCU 22 movies, which were already tremendous, and then they ended it so tremendously that we pretty much the world's in agreement that it's better than Star Wars.
Yeah.
What? You know what I mean? Well, this is our generation Star Wars, and it's arguably 100% is better than it.
Yeah.
For sure.
I agree.
And then I was like, and the best TV show ever. The big battle happens next week. Fucking what a week. I can't believe it, James.
This was their chance to redeem what everybody disliked about season 7. You know, give us a good old Game of Thrones episode.
They got fucking Zack Snyder in to direct this fucking episode of Game of Thrones. They make it all dark, can't see dick, and terribly done. Yeah. Thanks, Zack. Fucking idiot. Let's get
Jesus.
DC to make this. DC can make this episode of Game of Thrones.
Just what the fuck? Honestly, I feel disappointed with this episode, somewhat the same way I was disappointed in ways with Kingdom Hearts 3.
Don't say you.
Whereas Endgame did everything so right. Everything was so satisfying. I didn't get I think Endgame probably ended the way I wanted Kingdom Hearts 3 to end. But I didn't really get that from it. Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't as bad as this episode of Game of Thrones, though. I don't
like the using the word bad in Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
wasn't as perfect as Endgame.
No, it wasn't as perfect as Kingdom Hearts 2 either, but, you know, that's fine.
Here we go. Turn it up, James. Why don't you? Fucking turn up that Kingdom Hearts 2. Fucking average.
I've been so lenient with Kingdom Hearts 3 since it came out. I've been doing my best to love it. I can't do it anymore. I just can't do it.
What do you mean? What, you don't like Kingdom Hearts 3? Is that what you're
I don't dislike Kingdom Hearts 3. It's just, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. Had some great moments, but that ending, though. Not a huge fan.
What ending?
The ending.
Just the Xehanort part.
Yeah.
Even though they had an awesome Zigbar moment. And why are we talking about this? It doesn't matter. We're talking about Game of Thrones. We're not getting into this right now. I'm mad at you, but we're not getting into this right now. Just know you're in trouble after this.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah. So, who's alive?
Everyone.
We lost... everyone. No, so... Theon's dead, Jorah's dead. Jorah's death was it wasn't great, but it made sense. He defended Daenerys. It's how he should have died. I'm fine with how he died. It's dumb that it happened a kilometer outside the fucking Winterfell base somehow.
Yeah. And
they held off that many troops. Jon did nothing all episode. That's great. Ideal for the main character of the show.
He flew around
to do
a lot.
Nothing. Yeah.
Also,
nothing.
That scene right where he's on the ground and he sees the Night King, and then the Night King raises the dead, and he's running to get to him. That awesome. Scene was fucking awesome.
That was awesome.
Then it was shit though afterwards because
and then
nothing came of it.
Because I'm sitting there
this is it.
Let him stop him, but the Night King won't die, right? The Night King has to stop raising him and fight him.
Yeah,
that's what I was like.
Yeah, and then you
know
get
what I mean?
fight.
But then
that would have been
he
sick.
does raise him, and then Jon's surrounded by tens of thousands of undead, and I'm like, oh, and I sat there thinking, he shouldn't die, he can't die, but you put him in this situation, he has to die.
Yeah.
I don't care, kill the fucking guy.
And then it cut
he
back.
Shouldn't die. Story-wise, it makes no sense. It'd be dumb for him to die. Story-wise, it makes no sense for him to die. Stupid, should not die. But you've put him there, kill him because he can't live this. That's what annoyed me about this. It's I get that Jon has to live, but you put him there, you kill him.
Yeah,
he's surrounded by himself with no backup. 10,000 undead.
Yeah, that's what they keep doing though. They've been doing it for ages. They did it in season 7, and with this scene with Jon, he's surrounded, and it's oh shit, he's gonna die. It cuts away, does something else, and then it cuts back to Jon. It's there's not even as many as there were before. There's 10 of them or something. He's fine. He's just cutting them down. Everything's all right. It was so weird because it's almost like they left you on this weird cliffhanger of Jon's surrounded by so many, how's he gonna get out of this? And they cut back and there's 5 in front of him, there's a couple behind, and there's a load of them that are really far away that are coming in, but it's that's not how it looked before. There was so many more.
No, there were so many more. But then they're just you forgot, weird. You're stupid, you'll figure it out.
No, there wasn't as many. You were just wrong. You were thinking about it wrong. There were only 5 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how the Lord of Light came into play in this episode. Like, I like how that really meant something, because the Lord of Light was this undertone. It wasn't like the main character storylines, but it was this undertone religion that's been a part of the show from start to finish. I really liked that it had a purpose to the end of this storyline.
Sure.
It fit. It made total sense. I liked Melisandre in this episode. Like what she did. Like that she didn't know for sure it was going to work, but she's like, I'm here because I have to be here to try. Then the Beric Dondarrion being revived 9 times throughout the show made sense. He came full circle. The Lord of Light brought him back to save Arya. Cool with that.
Yeah.
Cool
Honestly, to be honest, I like some of the Lord of Light stuff. I think it was all like, oh, okay, everything comes into play. But also, it felt a bit shoehorned in. Like, last minute, they were like, oh, how do we make the Lord of Light shit fit into this whole White Walker storyline? Like, then it's like, Beric had to stay alive to save Arya, who is obviously Azor Ahai now, so that's cool. She kills the Night King.
Is she Azor Ahai? Is she Azor Ahai?
She killed the Night King, so who knows? Maybe?
I don't know. I think Jon Snow's still Azor Ahai, because the whole thing, and even George R. R. Martin says, like, prophecies are a fickle thing, and they're not, like, exactly right. Like, I still think Azor Ahai is, like, let me put it to you this way. I still think Azor Ahai is 100% Jon Snow. 1,000,000% Jon.
I think it can be. You can still make that case, I think. Because the prophecy is, what is it?
Here's
the
my
prince that was promised
case.
will bring the dawn, or something like that?
Will bring the dawn. Here's my point. And it was your argument of, like, well, why the Lord of Light bring it back? Well, Jon brought the dawn. Without Jon, they would have zero chance. He united everyone up against him, against the Night King. He brought everyone together. He took back Winterfell. That's what brought Arya back to Winterfell when she found out the Starks had it back. Every person that was there was because of Jon. And Arya, who also kind of has been, from the beginning, someone that gave... Because there's also part of, like, the sword, like this Lightbringer weapon that Azor Ahai will use. I would say the Lightbringer is Arya. Arya's Lightbringer, the weapon that Jon uses. I mean, he gave her a sword in the first episode of the fucking show. You know, he's built her up from the beginning, though she's trained herself and other people have trained her. Like, it's not him that trained her, but he's just been someone that's encouraged it from the beginning. He gave her first weapon. So I do see that she's Lightbringer that defeated the Night King, but she's not Azor Ahai. Azor Ahai is still Jon Snow.
That makes sense.
Because he's the one that brought the dawn. He's the one that brought the dawn.
Yeah, true, he did do that.
But she's just the weapon.
True,
That's how I see that.
That makes sense. That probably makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And we'll know by the end of the show with who's on the throne, which I think Jon will. I think, like, if I think, gun to my head, what HBO are going to do, it's Jon's on the throne. Daenerys probably isn't. Probably is dead. But, like, they might put them both, which would be dumb. But Jon's on the throne either way, I think.
Yeah, sure.
At the end of the show.
Yeah, I really don't know. Like, I wouldn't be able to make that decision. If I was... Let me think. If I had to go one way or the other, what do I think is going to happen? I think it won't be Jon. I think it'll be anyone but Jon or Daenerys. I think would make sense. But I don't know. Like, I mean, because to me it's just too predictable. It's like, oh, Jon Snow, the main character that everybody loves, is king. Like, that's too predictable. But then again, with what HBO are doing, then
yeah, it's what they're doing at the moment. Yeah,
could be the case.
Yeah. Well, I'm fine with him if he's king. I'd be more annoyed if Daenerys was queen, right? Like,
yeah. I don't really.
Jon
like
being
her,
king, Jon. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm team Sansa.
Becoming a bit of a cunt, but
yeah, I'm team Sansa at the moment.
Have Sansa win. That'd be cool. Have her kill everybody.
I still kind of like my Jaime theory though.
Oh yeah, I still like that as well. That's still a good theory.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So we get to the end of this episode, right? Theon dies, the Night King's there, but killing Brendon. What did you think of the moment itself when you're watching? Like, what was your reaction to Arya jumping at the back? Did you expect her? Were you like, she's gonna be the one that does this?
No, I didn't think about it. So like when it was weird, right? So because Melisandre gives her like that prophecy, that thing that she said a while ago in an older season or whatever.
Yeah,
and that should have been that should have been the moment where everyone watching was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But I didn't think about it. I was like, what the fuck? What does that mean? I don't even remember her saying that ever. Okay.
Oh,
sure,
really?
I guess.
Oh
yeah.
no, how many times have you watched the show?
Twice.
Okay, I've seen it probably 6 or 7 times through.
Okay, that makes sense.
Before because I'm not sure when you started watching, but I've been watching it season 2 or 3.
Oh, I was
and
season
every
4
before
just came out
yeah
when I
before
started watching.
before every season I'd rewatch it, sort of thing. So the earlier seasons I've seen 7 times. Like season 6 and 7 I've seen once or twice, sort of thing.
Okay.
At least twice. Because I would always watch every episode like twice. I see Battle of the Bastards about 10 times. I watched it like 3 times in a row the day it came out. Like it's my favorite episode.
Christ, I couldn't do that.
I fucking loved it. It was so fucking tremendous. So the first time I watched it, I was just having a heart attack, not sure what was going to fucking happen. The second time I could just watch and enjoy how it was done. But yeah, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, so the season 3, that's that line of the many Arjun clothes. Like as soon as they looked at each other, I'm like, oh yeah, they fucking met. Oh yeah, that scene. Because she took Gendry away and all that sort of shit.
I do remember it now. I thought that just meant like Arya changing her face. Like I thought that was
no. That she literally looked at her because she looked at Arya when she was really young and she was like very scared of her. Like looked at and grabbed her face, looked at her eyes and said, "In your eyes I see darkness, and in that darkness, eyes staring back at me, eyes you'll close forever. Brown eyes, green eyes, blue eyes." She said all those things, but to me I was like,
people she'd kill.
Yeah, it's all the people she'd kill. That's all. Like to me, I was like, "Oh, Arya's gonna be a big killer, like in the future," which we know.
This is a retcon, right? Like that wasn't a thing they planned. Is like she'll kill the Night King. It was like that's not what they meant by blue eyes, right? In season 3, when they did that line.
Dan and Dave have said they've known for years that Arya would be the one to do it.
They would say that though, wouldn't they? They wouldn't say, "Oh no, we just did this last minute." They're not going to say that, are they?
No. They said in the like behind the scenes. I don't know if it was season 3. I think they said they've known for 3 or 4 years. So that's probably a retcon from that line that was season 3. But they said they've known for years that Arya was the one that was going to kill the Night King, and they said because Jon's too predictable, which I accept that. But I still think Jon should have had a standoff moment with him that wasn't just
had a moment.
Yeah, I mean they had the raising the dead thing, but that wasn't enough.
Yeah, I'm not totally mad at. Yeah, I'm not totally mad at Arya killing the Night King.
If it wasn't Jon, who else would you want it to be? If it wasn't Jon, Arya's got to be your next choice.
Who would it be? I guess so, but I didn't really think about it. I didn't really ever think past. Oh, it's got to be like it. To me, it was like that's Jon's thing. Like it has to be Jon. Like I don't know. I think in the moment, right when the Night King was about to kill Bran, which is a weird moment. Like Bran is all like he looked a little bit scared, but I don't know. Bran is a bit weird. The Arya, just jumps out from. But I don't know where the fuck she came from and what happened there. But let's ignore that.
Well, they set up her stealth capabilities.
Yeah, stealth capabilities to launch herself through the air. Yeah, sure, I guess.
But you also saw there's also a shot because I've watched the scene a bunch of times. There's also a shot right before Arya comes out where there's this weird gust of wind and one of the White Walkers turns his head.
Oh yeah.
So he hears something, but he doesn't know what it is.
Is she jumping out of a window?
I think she jumps off the roof and then runs. That's what I think. No, I don't. Like she jumps off the roof and lands on the field and then runs at the Night King and.
But she comes flying. Like how the fuck?
Yeah,
did she
but
do
she's
that?
She's pretty fucking athletic, bro. Did gymnastics and shit.
Okay, I want to see a gymnast do that. Like that was mad. Like she came out of the sky. Like it wasn't like she was jumping off the ground. Like it looked like she was coming out of the sky.
Yeah, bro. You're asking way too many questions. It's
fucking dumb. Anyway, I think at the moment I was like when she came out from behind the Night King, I was kind of like, oh shit, like hyped. Like the Night King grabbed her, she killed him, and I was like, oh what the fuck? But then like moments after, I was like, oh what? Like wait, this is it. What the fuck? Like nothing that I thought would happen, and like they've won, and it's over, and the battle's done, and the White Walkers are defeated, and that's it. It's done, and no one died. Like I mean, Theon died, but
6 people died. There were side characters, but no main line characters.
And I was like, oh, okay. Like there was no sense of satisfaction. I wasn't like, oh, I'm so satisfied they killed the Night King and Arya killed the Night King, and there just weren't any moments that felt satisfying. I didn't feel like any arcs were being completed. I didn't feel like any characters have really good moments. It just sort of felt like, okay, like yeah, that was shocking, but also like I just feel sort of like nothing. I don't know. It didn't evoke any emotion. Like especially after watching Endgame, where there were so many amazing moments for all of the characters that I love. there wasn't any of that for me in this episode, which I wish there was, because characters have had that before, where you've had like brilliant moments for characters. It's not something that's like foreign to Game of Thrones, so it was just weird to me. It was so weird. Like I was just so fucking confused, because I was like, I thought the White Walkers were like the big threat. Like I thought they were built up in the background while they were having all these politics, and they were doing the war of the Five Kings and everything. Like it never felt to me like it was a side story that they'd wrap up and then continue with the Iron Throne. It felt to me like it always just felt like this big threat came up, and it was like, okay, Jon had to unite everyone because all this, petty squabbling over the throne doesn't matter because this threat is coming. This threat that has always won and always, wiped everyone out and no one's ever been able to defeat. They just did it. It felt so easy.
But it did feel a little easy when it came down to it. I mean, it felt easy because no one died. Because, like, if you watch the episode, they were losing so hardcore. So, like, it wasn't easy in the battle. But the fact that when it's all said and done, they're all alive, makes it feel like, well, it was easy. Because the only people that died was tens of thousands of nobody CGI characters.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
It also felt lucky. It didn't feel like it was a strategy they planned and like, there you go, like they've earned this victory. It almost just felt like luck. Like Arya survived,
it felt like,
and so
well,
she
to
could
me, it
jump
felt like
and kill the Night
destiny.
King.
It felt like destiny to me. That's what it felt like.
It just
felt
didn't
like
feel
prophecy
that way
and
to
destiny.
me. It felt weird. It felt like it just didn't feel Game of Thrones to me. It felt too like Arya's jumping in slow motion, like out of nowhere, and like it was such a weird scene. Like I don't know. I don't think I'm ever gonna like it, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough.
I've tried. I've watched a few reviews and people's thoughts on it, and I just can't see their point of view. Like I'm trying, and I'm like, I can't like it. I can't like that scene. I just can't figure out. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with it. Totally fine. Not totally fine with it in the Night King just died in this episode and the storyline's kind of wrapped up. But I'm fine with the decision for Arya to be the one.
I'm fine with that decision.
Looking back at it, I like it better than if Jon had done it. I actually like it a lot better. Because Jon's predictable. Again, I would have liked them to have done it in a different way with Arya, but Arya was the right call. Arya has been top 3 favourite characters the whole show for me. And her whole character has been based around becoming like this legendary killer assassin.
Mm-hmm.
And she's small, she's built for stealth. Like, I totally accept the fact that she can run in and not be detected. I totally accept the fact that she can leap around and this psycho athlete. And I get that she has the skill and ability to do what she did, to drop that dagger, catch it, stab. I get all of that.
They've also done that before,
it should have been... Yeah, they did it with Brienne, that exact move.
Yeah.
But my thing is, it just was the way it was done was so easy, where it's just, the Night King's about to kill Bran, who gives a fuck, and then she comes in and kills him, and that's it. Like, there was no, the Night King killed someone Arya loved, and then the Night King fights Jon, and then stabs Jon, and then about to take the killing blow. Then Arya comes in and does it. That's how you should have done it. Arya should still have been the one to do it, but you just do it better than that.
Yeah, because you can have that. You can have Jon fighting him, and it's like a fake out, because it's like, oh, it's not actually Jon. Although he gets his moment with the Night King. The Night King can kill Gendry, which he doesn't need to be alive. There's no need for him to be alive.
No, they're just trying to make Baratheon babies, bro. That's what they want.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know.
They just kill but Gendry.
That's what's happening.
Almost kill Jon. Have Arya kill the Night King. It just for such a weirdly made scene. I mean, it's so easy to sit here after the episode's been made and go, I would change these little things here and there. I mean, when you're coming up with things from scratch, it's obviously a lot harder because they've just got to construct this whole storyline.
No,
you're right.
It's not that hard. It's really not that hard, though, is it? Especially when you've been doing it for 9 years. It's not that hard because they've done it before.
Yeah. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You can also reflect on it after you've written it as well and be like, oh, I should change these things here and there.
I bet they didn't just make one draft and go, this is perfect. That's it. We don't need to change anything. First draft, we're good. Let's roll it.
True.
And it is like 50% of the people I've seen loved this episode. That was the best episode in Game of Thrones history. You know what I mean? And the other half hated it. Like, this is the most divided episode of the show, I think.
Yeah, I see. The thing is, I was loving it. Like, I was so into it. I was like, this episode's fucking brilliant for like the first hour. And then when you got to the end, I was like, I don't know what. Well,
there's no payoff. There's no payoff to the hour of battle, and payoff includes not necessarily winning. Payoff includes deaths.
Yeah, you need that emotional
Jamie dying
weight
is a payoff to the battle being them being on the losing side of the battle being challenging, it not being easy to win. Loss. It means when you do win, the payoff is that much more. The payoff is not worthy of the 80 minutes beforehand when there was no consequence to the battle.
Yeah. Yeah. Because although they lost a lot of people...
Or not enough. It's not enough of a consequence.
It's not... Nothing. This isn't going to affect anything. Like, it's not like they're going to be like... Okay, they're still going to be like...
Not true, because they've got to fight Cersei with 10 guys.
I guess, but...
that will come into it. I do think their army size will come into it. Yeah, I do.
So it'll be like,
if it doesn't, man, Jesus Christ, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Like, if it doesn't come into the fact that they've lost... Because the whole reason Cersei didn't go up there wasn't because she didn't believe in the dead. She believed in them. She just made a gamble that they'll beat the dead and there'll be fuck all of them left, and she will just have a full army to rape them. She'll get rid of all her enemies.
I hope she does.
Are we Team Cersei now? Is that what's happening?
To die. Can we just have Cersei win, please?
Win, yeah, you know.
Can we? Because they're all dumb. All these characters are fucking idiots. I just want them all to die.
Sansa.
To be honest,
I'm on Team Sansa.
Sansa can live. Maybe like as a prisoner. I don't know. Whatever. She can be Cersei's handmaiden or something.
Okay, can I ask you a question? Because Cersei will die. You and I both die. Like, you know, we talk about it. She's going to die. I always wanted Arya to kill her wearing like Jaime's face or something.
No.
Arya can't kill her now. I think we're in agreement on that. Now that Arya got the Night King, she's out. Who kills Cersei now?
Jaime? It's got to be Jaime. I want it to be Jaime.
Do you think it's a Mad Queen moment and it's just reminiscent of the whole Mad King death where where he goes in there to try to reason with her and she's like, no, kill them all, slaughter them all, and
maybe, because maybe she'll use does she have any wildfire left? There's got to be somewhere.
Yeah,
right?
For sure. Nah, surely.
Maybe she'll use that. Maybe it'll be like because I mean they've got to sail to King's Landing, right? You'd think. Yeah. So maybe it'll be.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be
Tyrion's wildfire stuff at the. But also Blackwater.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I think there'll be a whole burn 'em all sort of thing. It'll be Mad Queenish, and then
I think they'll do a similar thing there, and Jaime will kill her.
That's possible. That's possible.
You go. That would, to me, that's the only reason I would accept Jaime still being alive, because that scene would I think would make up for it, having Jaime. But
that's not the. I would accept that if that was the only way I think Cersei should die. But there's multiple ways I think you could have killed Cersei. Tyrion could definitely be someone that kills Cersei.
What would he do? Stab her in the ankles? What?
Bronn could kill her. It wouldn't be that satisfying, but it'd be pretty fun.
You know what? They'll probably do that. They'll probably do it.
Yeah, Bronn crossbows her and shit. Yeah.
That'll be Grey Worm. That's why they kept him alive. Grey Worm has to kill Cersei. All those personal stakes.
I think if you ask me, Jaime should do it. Right? Like we're in agreement. Jaime should do it.
Yeah, I think so.
It should be Jaime. Fair enough. If it wasn't Jaime, it can't be Arya and it can't be Jaime. Who would you pick? I would pick Sansa.
Yeah, wouldn't be mad at that.
Because you set up the whole, I don't know how to use this dagger, stick him with the pointy end, but she didn't use it, you know, in the battle. But you've set that up, that she's got that sort of thought in her mind now. Because she's never thought about killing someone like that. It's always been tactical with her. So first time she's like, stick with the pointy end. She's now like thinking about it. I don't think she's gonna have a dragonglass dagger to kill Cersei, but like she'll have a kind of knife on her. She'll be thinking about that way of working now. And Sansa's a smart chook now. So she'll fucking think about that shit. Come back to it. Walks in and she's fucking stabs the shit out of Cersei or something. Like, I don't know. Maybe. I think Sansa would be someone I'd be cool with. You know what I mean? Cersei tortured that fucking girl. That family tortured Sansa. She's the only one. She's the only one I'd be totally like hyped about. That's not Jaime.
I think Jaime or Sansa. Got to be either of them. A Tyrion I'd be sort of okay with, but I don't think it'd be quite as good.
Makes sense.
It'd be really weird actually if it was Tyrion. Like he's always been very calm about it. Like I get when he killed Tywin, it made a lot of sense, but I couldn't imagine him killing Cersei. I think that would be really strange to me.
And the thing is, we've got to remember, Cersei's pregnant with Jaime's kid.
Oh, yeah.
We got to think about that as well.
That'd make
So
it even worse.
Jamie killing Cersei is a very big deal.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be
killing
good,
his
though.
kid.
That'd be good, though. Like, I mean, it wouldn't be. That'd be awful. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, good writing.
Do you think it's possible? Yeah, it'd be good, right? Yeah. Do you think Cersei could use the baby to not be executed, but like when they take the throne, and then she has like this time to plot, and then there's like a red wedding ending, Cersei actually wins, even though she lost the battle, just because they didn't execute her right then and there.
Nah.
They gave her time to have the kid. Like they'll let her live.
I don't think so.
Okay. So the baby, obviously, the kid can't live. Yeah, for sure. So she's dying with the kid. I think Sansa would be the one that wouldn't give a fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sansa wouldn't give a fuck. She's like, I know what your babies are like. They're fucking nightmares. I'm killing the fuck out of you.
Fuck those.
Yeah. Who kills Euron? Jaime? Or does Euron kill Jaime?
I don't know, man. I'm surprised that Cersei never killed Euron. I was honestly expecting her to. I thought she was going to. Like, she's sort of like, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to kill Euron. Maybe she still will. When she has no need of him or something. Maybe his army gets defeated or something.
I don't
dragons
so.
fuck it up.
No, I just kind of pointless now.
But I don't know.
She'll have no time. She'll have no time to be thinking about killing Euron when like she's getting attacked. And then she'll die but before the battle's over, so.
Maybe Jaime. That might be meaningful as well.
With one hand, yeah, totally.
Give Jaime his time to shine.
Just make Jaime fucking king. Fuck all these other characters.
Yeah.
Just let the blonde, blue-eyed, white guy win, for God's sakes. They're so underrepresented, James.
Yeah, it's true, they are.
What was my other... Oh, yeah, also we're forgetting about Clegane Bowl. We're forgetting about the real battle of this show, the real main event of Game of Thrones, the Mountain and the Hound.
That'll be
going
great.
head-to-head fight.
That'll be great.
That's exciting.
Who's going to win that?
The Mountain, and then Arya kills the Mountain.
Yeah. That'd be good.
You can't give Arya Cersei, but I wouldn't be mad at you giving Arya the Mountain. Yeah, because I mean, it's literally they're the opposites. It's the smallest warrior fighting the biggest warrior.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
I'd like that.
You give Arya still a big kill in the last episode, but it's not Cersei. You know what I mean? Like, because the Mountain's on her list. The Mountain's on her list.
Yeah, true. She doesn't really care about that list anymore, though, does she?
Yeah, once she killed the fucking the phrase, it was kind of like you know.
She never says the list anymore. She hasn't for ages. Yeah. She used to say it all the time.
But we know it's still there. We know it's still there in her head.
True.
And most of the list is gone anyway. It's like literally Cersei and the Mountain is all that's left.
Yeah, true.
And they'll both be dead by the end of this.
Yeah, I mean,
who do you think definitely won't die? Like, there's no chance.
Definitely won't die. Oh,
that you would actually be shocked if they killed them. Like, you're like, there's no chance they're dying. I'd actually be stunned if they killed them.
I'm trying to think of characters.
Tyrion, Sansa, Arya are my three.
Tyrion, yeah. It'd be weird if they killed Tyrion, because who's gonna kill Tyrion? No one cares enough to kill Tyrion. I guess, yeah, that's true.
Cersei cares a lot to kill Tyrion.
What's she gonna do? Stab him?
She hired Bronn to shoot him with a crossbow.
He's not gonna do that. That's bullshit. Bronn will join those. He has a sense of honor.
I think you're right, but you know.
Yeah, there's no. Could you imagine if Bronn kills Tyrion? That'd be so stupid.
Yeah, it would be.
He kills him and he's like, yeah, I'll just get my money. I'm gonna go buy a castle or something. Yeah. Nah, it's just not in his character. That'd be weird.
Yeah, that would be weird. Yeah, I'm with you.
What if he pretends to kill him and then brings Tyrion like to Cersei and then Tyrion kills her?
What are you even saying? What are you even saying?
Like, I don't know.
You think about what you're saying. What are you even saying?
Like the scene from The Dark Knight with the Joker, where he comes in and then he's like,
"Oh, what a dumb fucking thing! What a fucking dumb thing!"
Tyrion can see that.
Yeah. It'd be more believable Bronn doing it with Jaime and bringing him in like that, and it's just Jaime wants to talk, and that's how Jaime rationalizes it to Bronn or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that because they all know like Cersei would kill them both. Bronn wouldn't risk his life like that.
No.
Bronn's smart enough. He knows the queen.
No. I'm trying to think what other characters we got. Like Brienne. What about her? I think she'll probably die.
Why is she even fucking alive? No, she won't die because she should have died already, and she's not. Anyone that should have died in that battle: Jaime, Brienne, Tormund, Grey
Grey
Worm. They're the ones that should have died in that battle at episode 3. They didn't. I don't care now. You don't need to kill them. They're not going to die. Sam can't die. Sam's actually, you know what? Sam's my number 1 can't die. Because Sam's the one that writes the book.
The book?
The book.
What do you mean?
They talk about in season 7, it would be, when he's in the Citadel about writing down, he's talking to the Grand Maester or whoever the fuck is teaching him, and he wrote the Battle of the Five Kings, like a book about telling the tales of the Battle of the Five Kings, and Sam was kind of criticizing it, gave it a bit of a critique of like, well, there's no like development here, like it's literally just like reading a history book. Sam talked about making it like a story book. I think Sam's in the Citadel and he's the one that tells this tale. He's the one that writes the Game of Thrones. The Song of Ice and Fire. The Song of Ice and Fire is
how it'll end, do you think?
Yeah, it'll end. Yeah, I think it'll end. Sam writes the Song of Ice and Fire. Like that's how I think it ends. Sam's the one that writes the story. That's why he was witness to so much. That's why I think he was at the battle fighting, not because he needed to be there in the moment, but I think he has to be witness to he has to be witness to a lot of this to be able to write that book.
Sure,
like,
but how does he write the early stuff? Because he was at the wall for all of it. Like, how would he write like?
I think it'll be like
researching and like
talking to. Well, I think it'll be talking to Tyrion and people like that. You know.
That makes sense.
You know, there'll be characters that live to tell the tale. Like I've thought since season 7 and that Citadel stuff, I'm like, Sam's the one that writes this fucking book. Okay, it makes sense now. Like that's what I think. I think Sam's probably my number 1 can't die for that reason. Like. You don't need to kill him, and he's the one that's supposed to tell the story.
Yeah, I like that. That makes sense.
His whole character's about fucking books.
Yeah,
you know, reading
almost
books,
feels like a I don't know, what do you call it?
And
like a what's it called when an author puts like themselves into the story? Because he's sort of like a George R. R. Martin type character, like into books.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, exactly. I think he really is that character of it. He's the author in the story. And Sam's been witness to so much, to so many people, and meets a lot of other people along the way to tell him. I mean, he could just sit with Bran and Bran just tells him what happens. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's all set on, like, watching what fucking happens back and getting the real truth to it. So, yeah, I think Sam's the one that tells the story. And you don't need to kill Bran at this point, so I don't think Bran dies.
Oh, yeah, what's going on with Bran? What's his purpose? Because,
doesn't matter, though.
Surely there's got to be something to it.
Doesn't matter.
Because what's the point? Why would they do all this if it's not for any reason at all?
He's now going to live under a tree.
It's they've done all this with Bran so that he can tell the main characters things they don't know about to push the plot forward. Is that really, do you think that's all he's for?
I sure do.
That's a shame. That's a big shame if that's all they do, and there's no more to it.
There's nothing else to it. He will not have another line in this fucking show.
Classic Bran.
Fucking shit his character. I remember even the first time watching the show through, I would skip his scenes. Like season 2 and 3, I just would fast forward that shit. Fuck that shit. It's so boring.
I didn't hate him early on. I only hated him after he became the Three-Eyed Raven. Then it was really uninteresting.
No, I hated him the whole time, and everyone was telling me, nah, because he's going to be important later. I'm like, no, he won't. He's boring. And then we get to the later. I'm like, well, I actually find him more interesting now than I did then, but still the worst character. Because at least he's doing something, even though he's still shit as a character.
Yeah, I don't really like him that much. He's fine. Whatever. Look, I'm yawning thinking about Bran.
Yeah, he's just always a bit of a bitch boy, you know what I mean? Like, always kind of just been a bit of a bitch boy.
Yeah, sitting in his wheelchair. What a fucking bitch.
What a fucking little bitch. Idiot. Yeah.
Stupid. Good old Bran. Maybe Bran will be the king. He's had a lot of practice sitting down.
He has a lot of practice.
They can sit him in the Iron Throne, then he can never move.
Yeah. No, the throne is the chair. His wheelchair is the throne.
Ah, makes sense.
Yeah, they destroy the Iron Throne. It's now the wooden throne.
Oh, it makes sense. You know what they're going to do? It's the first episode was a metaphor. When Jaime pushes him out the window and paralyzes him, it's a metaphor for him killing Cersei and then putting Bran on the throne. Because that's what it is.
The things I do for love.
Yeah, and so he kills Cersei because he loves Bran.
What an epic, satisfying ending.
Yeah, it's like brotherly love though. It's not weird or anything. Like it's I don't know how old Bran is. Bran's old enough, right?
Yeah, no, they fuck. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, for Jamie, that is brotherly love, but there you go.
Well, you got to have the LGBTQ representation in the show.
That's
what
true. Yeah, Brand's paralyzed too, so that's double.
They've got the retards covered.
Oh no!
Oh, sorry, we can't say that word. Even if it's a joke, we can't say that word.
No, you're not allowed. It's not a joke. I don't see where the joke is.
I apologize.
People actually are retarded, so that...
Are they? I didn't know. I thought
they are. They are.
I thought it was just a joke, so I thought that's my bad.
No, it's not just a joke. That's upsetting. I can't do the rest of this podcast. I'm really upset.
Yeah, I'd like to make a full public apology right now.
Ah, good.
For saying the word, I didn't mean it like that. No. I realised, though, that even though I meant it as a joke, it doesn't matter.
No, no, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. My intentions aren't what matters. It's just that I said a word, and that word can hurt.
Yeah, it really upset me. I mean, I'm not physically. But...
It's like I may as well have stabbed a knife. Into Bran. May as well.
Yeah.
It's my bad. I apologize.
I'm glad we cleared that one up. I'm glad.
Can we move? Are we able to move on, or should I make another apology for 10 minutes and talk about how, like, I know a disabled guy?
No,
you know what I mean? Like,
you can just write that up on Twitter later.
Yeah, my third cousin's disabled, and I know what it's like, how hard it can be, or something like that. You know what I mean? Make up a story. Yeah, I understand. My mother taught me better. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I've got it covered. Don't worry. I'll come up with something. It'll be good. I'll draft the tweet and like have it scheduled for when the podcast comes out. Yeah. Anyway, so they've got that covered for representation. It's great.
Great.
Yeah, but they don't like blacks or Mexicans apparently.
No, they don't. Had to get rid of them. Yeah. Had to.
Fair
Couldn't have them sticking around.
Yeah, that's fair. Understandable. I mean, they did talk about how Winterfell was so racist for the first 2 episodes, right? With Grey Worm and stuff. And they're like, well, I guess they were. They just retreat, but only the white guys. You know the rules. Like, you know what
I mean? Good old Winterfell. Love it.
Good old Winterfell. Classic. The North. The North remembers.
The North remembers.
As long as you don't have melanin in your skin.
Yeah,
the North remembers.
Good stuff.
Funny.
What more is there to go over?
I don't know. We've kind of covered everything. Who sits on the throne? Jon Snow.
Does he though?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not in agreement with that. They can't.
Well, who sits on the throne? Who sits on the throne then?
I don't know, man.
Yeah, you don't know. I know.
No, it's not Jon. They're not going to do that.
Yeah, they are.
That's so shit.
You haven't been paying attention.
If that happens, if Jon Snow is on the throne, I will smash my television. Okay, I won't do that, but I will tweet angrily about it. And that's just as good.
Yeah, it is just as good. Just as satisfying for me.
Not going to be happy.
I mean, even though Jon Snow's like, came from nothing, he is the rightful heir to the throne. He is Rhaegar's son.
Like, he should be the king, but he also
should be the king. Like, I'm fine with him being king because he actually should be the king. Daenerys shouldn't be the queen.
He should be, like, in terms of if I were living in this world, yeah, Jon should be the king. But I'm watching a show, and I don't like that as a piece of writing. I don't think that's very good. I think that's really boring. Okay. Oh, Jon Snow kills the villains and is king. Okay, cool. I mean, it's just Lord of the Rings, like.
Except
not
as well lit. Except not as well lit. It's like Lord of the Rings, but not as well lit.
Except there's not enough moonlight. Yeah, in their nighttime battles, unfortunately. Too much smog.
Too much smog.
Which they can't do that. I'm not having.
Not as good of a Sam or an Aragorn, but yeah, they did alright. They tried.
I don't want Jon to be king. I'm really going to be disappointed. Like, this episode disappointed me, but if they make Jon king, I'll be more disappointed, I think.
No, I think I'd be more disappointed if Daenerys was queen.
Okay, yeah, sure. That would be more disappointing. If they end the show and Daenerys is on the Iron Throne and then they end and they cut to credits and they think everyone's going to just clap and be like, wow, what an experience. What a show. I'm so glad I wasted 10 years of my life on this. This was great.
And the small council is just like all the main crews all together and everyone's happy and married and babies and shit. Yeah.
They play some music in the background and they flick to all the different castles and the different holds around the Seven Kingdoms and everyone's happy and they're having feasts and it's so great. No, please don't do that.
The blonde hair, blue eyed Lannister babies Jaime and Brienne will have. Fucking all the final, like, you know what I'm like, the character that was most like Lyanna Stark, Arya, that everyone talked about, married a Baratheon, Robert's son. After all that, a Stark and a Baratheon together, and you have that. They're having fucking babies and shit. Then you have Tyrion and Sansa together. She got her Lannister prince that she wanted. Fucking, you know what I mean? Like,
oh no!
Full circle stuff.
It all makes sense. It all makes sense. Oh, that's terrible. Don't do that.
And she's not looking for looks. She's looking for heart, because she looked for looks and she got she got fucked.
Yeah.
You know, it was rough. It was real rough for her.
Yeah, got raped.
And then, you know, the Targaryens are together, and Jon and Daenerys, and they have beautiful Targaryen babies.
Wow, everything comes full circle. If this were anything but Game of Thrones, that would be a brilliant ending. But it's Game of Thrones, and so I don't like that at all. Jesus Christ, fuck. I mean, they've said the ending is meant to be bittersweet. I don't see how Jon or Daenerys being on the throne is bittersweet. I mean, Daenerys being on the throne is bitter. But
Jon being on the throne is bittersweet. I'm fine with that.
It's just pretty good though, isn't it? It's like, my favorite character is on the.
But it depends how. It always depends how, man. It always depends how they do it.
Jon becomes the Night King and sits on the throne.
Do you think it's possible for the White Walkers to come back? Like, there's some way that, like, they're not?
No, because they all died. Like, all of the... Unless, like, there's something to do with Bran and his weird connection to the Night King that will then play into... But there's 3 episodes.
It's like a cliffhanger ending? Would you be like, it's a cliffhanger? No, but if they, like, had a cliffhanger ending.
Oh, so, like, someone opens their eyes and they're blue and it's like, oh, no! Nah, they can't do that. Yeah. That's way too Hollywood.
They can do that.
I mean, they can, but I don't like it. I don't like it. I won't accept that.
Yeah,
that'll make me angry.
Fucking have to. You're so fucking pretentious.
Oh,
I won't accept that. I'm gonna tweet about it.
Nothing but the best. They'll write a blog post and they'll be
nothing but
so
the best.
upset.
Yeah. You tell them, sister, queen, slay.
It's true. It's true.
And you make sure they know to have more LGBTQ representation.
Yeah, it's really disappointing.
Right? Yeah. They only. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is.
Okay, fuck. I'm all done. I'm all done ranting and raving about Game of Thrones. Let's wrap
I feel like we just talked a lot of shit, to be honest.
But that's all this fucking show is. I need to go watch fucking Endgame again and know what satisfaction is.
Yeah. Great.
What a movie. Hey, man, what a fucking movie that is.
What a brilliant movie. If you liked it as well, go and watch our spoiler cast on it. It came out last week. And that's great. iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, and YouTube. It's a really good one. We do a lot of talking about Endgame, as you should on an Endgame spoiler cast. It's real good. Check that out. But yeah, that's it, I guess, for this one. Is there anything else that you have to say?
I have nothing else to say other than Jon Snow is the one true heir and king of the Seven Kingdoms.
I mean, is he though?
Yeah, he is.
I mean, the throne was overthrown though, wasn't it? So really, Cersei really should be on the throne, right? Like, do the Targaryens really have a claim now? Because it was overthrown.
Yeah, they do. And if let's say if Jon doesn't have a claim, then it's fucking Baratheon kid, whatever the fuck we said his name 1,000 times. It's fucking Gendry. Then it's Gendry.
Imagine Gendry's king.
You know what? Wouldn't be that mad at it.
He's there and he's like, I'm king.
And you know what? It'd be so funny because Arya would be queen, and it's so opposite to her character. Would be hilarious.
Oh yeah,
who would have thought, like, from the beginning, she never wanted to do that, but she wouldn't wear a dress. She would do it her way, but she would be the queen.
That'd be terrible. Don't do that.
Would it be terrible?
Yes. All of these sound terrible. I don't think I'm going to be happy with the ending. No matter what they do, I'm going to be disappointed.
But like every scenario I throw at you, like terrible. Then I'm like, well, what do you want to happen? I don't know. Like,
I don't know. I won't know until I see it. I've got to wait and see. If they do it, I'll know. You just know what you don't want, which is everything. Yeah, you won't be happy at all. I think don't end the show. Cancel it.
Yeah, I really think it doesn't matter what happens. I don't think you're gonna like this.
I think I'm gonna be disappointed. I think I'm always gonna be disappointed. I don't think it matters here. I think I'm so done with Game of Thrones. I think I have been for a while that I'm just mad at everything. I don't know. Yeah. I don't think they can please me anymore.
I predict I will be okay with the ending. I think I'll be like, yeah, that was fine. I think that's how I feel.
I think you'll be okay with it, yet you'll defend it a lot when you talk to me about it, who will hate it.
But it won't be that, like, I defend in the sense of, no, it's fucking awesome. I'll defend in the sense of, it's not fucking that bad. Like, it's not like, I don't know why you'd hate it.
I mean, you hate a lot of things.
I do hate a lot of things.
And I end up agreeing with them. But that's probably because they're actually bad things. Like the Assassin's Creed movie.
Yeah, I was about to say. But to be fair, like, your examples aren't Game of Thrones, the biggest show of all time. Like, Assassin's Creed movie. You're like,
Assassin's Creed Rogue.
I didn't hate it. I saw the Assassin's Creed movie, and I didn't hate it. Fuck off, you fucking dumbass.
Yeah. Great. I'm really happy that was our first Clubhouse as well.
Didn't hate it. Fuck you.
Look, for the record, I do hate it. That's the
first episode of Clubhouse. The first episode of Clubhouse was the Assassin's Creed movie review. Clubhouse is the best podcast of all time, and
it really has evolved.
Nothing like what it was. Like, it is so really, different to all of the other podcasts we do.
That's what I call some major character development.
That's some real character development. That's some, like, that's some
Come on,
serious
Game of Thrones.
Right there.
Listen to Clubhouse, then you'll know how character development works. You cucks. Anyway, that's it. For this episode of the Cinema Room podcast, episode whatever it is, 10. Oh yeah, it is 10. That's great. Okay, fantastic. So
we made it to double digits. We didn't get cancelled, guys.
Yeah, we didn't. Great. Okay. What was I saying? Oh yeah, thanks to our Patreon producers, Kim Richard III, Ikraik, Seth, and Josh Devillier. This episode of the Cinema Room, as every episode of the Cinema Room, other than the one we did on Endgame, comes out a week early on patreon.com/as always, which you can get access to for just $1, where you'll get to access, like I said, the Cinema Room 1 week early. Also, you get exclusive access to the Kilconnor Clubhouse podcast, which is the best podcast. So you don't want to miss that, because wouldn't that be a shame if you missed the best podcast? Real shame. And it's only $1, so there you go. There's that. And to thank everybody that's here supporting us on patreon.com/as always. We've got King Richard III, Ikraik, Seth, Ballsack47, Josh Devillier, Damian, Billy the Team Tynamite, Captain Robertson, Tman or Travis, KEMOSABE, Gamer, Casey Wood, Adam Sundling, Alfie Rowsell, Jamie the Gamer, Smexy Dork, Lumistrad, Mario5380, Flossing Thanos, Viridian, Pink Flame through and 3, ArunWyn, OllieTheDane, Fat Fuck Cuck, Neeb, Brendon or BQ Overlord, Ravjai, Julie, Prudhvi Muvva, Oscar, Benedict Parker Returns, James and Lad, Connor Durose Bully in the Alley, Zahir, Gene, Zeek Collins, Son of a Bitch Ogeaidogo, Lauren, Dammit Glenn, Furious Coco, the ACMJS, Delta Rodriguez, Kassassin, Kyle, Sandor the Pussy Slayer, S. Jaws, Kyle Marvel, Marcus Blackburn, Emil Katborg, Joshua Mora, Ginko Swag, Andrew Katona, Master Bass 2434, Yazen, Joe the Sexy Boi Smith, Elsterco 91, Joe A.K.A FoundedScarab, H Bass 12, I got Lumbago, I'm Mans for the Dads, Omar Karasaki, Alfie Rodbert, Brian Ford, Cashbert, Milk Boy, Shields, Fishy or Ethan Woodgates, and Andrew Martinez. Thank you all so much for your continued support. I think that's the best run through of the list I've ever done. I'm very proud of myself. Great stuff. Brilliant. There we go. I'll do my best. I'll try to keep this up. We'll see how that goes. Anyway, that's it. We'll see you if you're listening to this on Patreon. We'll see you in a week's time for Clubhouse. If you're listening on YouTube, iTunes, SoundCloud, or Spotify, we'll see you in a week's time for Kilconnor Club, I believe. That's how it works? Yeah, I got that right. Yes. Brilliant. Yeah. Great stuff. And
phenomenal. I can't wait. And
for what?
Yeah, I mean, if you're listening on Patreon, the Kilconnor Club is Colin, which is fucking brilliant. Other than that, if you listen to it in public, in 1 week will be episode 100 of Kilconnor Club. So that's
crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
We sort that shit out.
Yeah, we really do need to figure that out.
We do. Fuck. All right. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next time.
See you later.